Hi everyone, it is Monica here from TVandPopcorn.com, and I am back after I believe 3 weeks of not watching Scandal. I had to watch it this week. You want to know why? And I'm reviewing Scandal right now. You want to know why? Because every week, even though I don't watch it, I jump on Facebook to read the post. And I can't comment because I don't have a Facebook profile. I know, weird, right? Okay, yeah, but I don't. And so when I'm reading comments, I want to respond, but I can't respond. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the show this week and I'm gonna give a review. Because I was like, fans are going crazy, and mainly over Mellie and her speeches that she was giving to Fitz and Olivia this particular week. And right now, I'm going to be reviewing season 5, episode 6, titled Get Out of Jail Free. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to try not to be as sporadic in my reviews as I always am. I'm going to try to pick a character and stick with it and move to the next character. This is something new. I'm going to try this real quick. So hang in there with me, you guys. Okay, who to start with? First of all, let's start with Sally Langston. Sally is something else. This woman is ready to see Fitz get out of the White House, be impeached because of Olivia Pope and his and Fitz relationship. So Sally literally is vasting in this thing, and she's ready for it to happen, but Sally killed her own husband. So it's kind of weird because, and I've said this before, and I've said this in several comments in the past. Everybody in this show, except for a few, and I would have to classify Mellie as an exempt from this statement I'm about to make. A lot of these characters have this, just as Mellie said, this self entitlement thing going on, and this thing is if they look at everybody else for the reason why they are in the position they are in, and they do not blame themselves or take responsibility for themselves. Sally is the same way. Now, everybody else has pretty much covered up the fact that you killed your husband and covered it up real good. And now you are on TV before, and let's go to, we're going to Scandal right now, you guys. Let's go to this show. We're not bringing the show to us in real life. Let's not do that, but let's go into the show real quick. And so she's sitting there and she's talking about Fitz as if she has no dirt, that she's hiding herself. And I can't imagine being able to do that, seriously. Like, if it was me, just with my personality, and I know that I did what I did as Sally did with her husband, I would have found another job, just kept my mouth closed, moved on. But she's just looking for trouble. I mean, honestly, I hope she doesn't cross the lines. They have some dirt on her that could just be leaked out at any given time. Then next thing you know, I don't know if they cremated the husband or not, but they'll be digging him up and doing more autopsies and all that just to figure out if she was the one who did it or not. Because of course he didn't die the way they said he died, and of course they made it look like he had a heart attack. So I guess there was really no real autopsy done on the body. But Sally is just, she's a hot mess. Okay, so moving on. Whew, okay. Let me go ahead and address Mellie real quick. This particular episode just tripped me out. I've been keeping up with it, you guys. I haven't been watching, but I watched this one, and it just tripped me out. Okay, so Mellie has nutted up on Olivia and Fitz. Now, I'm going to take my time and try to say this right, because I have a few ideas about this whole situation, and a few opinions. So I'm going to try to get this out. First of all, I was not a Mellie fan. I say season 1, season 2. I was not a Mellie fan because I didn't understand Mellie. And then around season 3, season 4, the writers of the show pretty much helped clear up some things about Mellie, and they softened her a bit, and I think they made her too soft, which is what I said in my initial review of the show, for season 5, my first review for the premiere of season 5. So I'm saying Mellie is now back, and I'm happy to see her back because I am now a Mellie fan. And why? I became a Mellie fan when I understood what Fitz's father did to her and how she just kept on trucking, and she was really, I in my opinion, I think that Mellie really wanted the best for Fitz. I do believe, and if you look at Mellie, you can kind of tell, you guys. I think that Mellie really is one of those wives who will follow her husband and cover her husband to the death. I really think she is one of those wives. And the interesting thing about this, and I try not to cross over shows into real life, but it is some women out there just like that for real in real life who will do that. They ride or die in more of a housewife, um I'm in the shadows type of a way, that type of thing. And I really think Mellie took that as her role, especially when I go back and I look at season 1 and how she was sitting on that bus and they was telling, I think it was Olivia, and I'll have to go back sometime and watch this, but I think I'm right. It was Olivia, and they was talking to her on the bus, and they was telling her how, I believe Mellie either had a miscarriage or she had an abortion. Oh, one of the two. Something happened, and they covered it up. And Fitz and Mellie was telling Olivia this, and I could see it in Mellie's eyes that the whole story and everything that they had planned to release to the public was hard on her, but it was something that she was willing to do to get Fitz where he was. And I could see that there was a sense that she was proud of him, that he did become president. You know what I mean? And I think she understood more than anybody the hold that his father had on him, and how much Fitz wanted and even needed to get from under his father's shadow and his father's way of I guess you could say, dictating his life. So I think she felt the need for that. So in this episode, now I read a lot of the comments before watching it. Mellie's spiel I thought was on point. She's been saying what a lot of non-elite fans have been saying forever and a day. Now, now that we're here, let me go to Fitz. I don't like him whatsoever. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like Fitz. I don't like him. Even without Liv, I don't like Fitz. And so here's why. Okay, so Fitz does this extravagant thing, and he, how do I say it? Okay. He puts this fancy thing together for Olivia because in this episode, pretty much, they're trying to come up with a plan as to how they could prevent Olivia from testifying against Fitz and revealing, anything that could put a damper on anyone else, because Olivia has a lot that she knows about and a lot that she's covered up and a lot of things that she's done herself and a lot of things that she's helped others out of. And so she didn't really want to lie for him, but as she told Abby, if I do go before them and testify, I'm going to lie. And so the whole idea coming from Cyrus was that Olivia married Fitz, and if she married Fitz, then she would not have to testify against Fitz because they are married. Okay, whatever that is by law. Okay, so Fitz, they gave this idea to Olivia initially just in the heat of the moment, like, okay, we got to do this. And Fitz was like, hey, we could do this, we could get married. And Olivia's argument is, this is not how I wanted it to be, this is not how I wanted our marriage to be, this is not how I seen it go down, this would be fake. Okay, so then we fast forward, and Fitz decides that he feels Olivia is hesitant because it's not done right or romantically in his mind, basically. So he has a petal of roses going through the White House and flowers posted up and, a table full of roses. He has his tux on. He has his ring, the little ring in the box is supposed to be a special ring worn by, I don't know if it was another first lady. I have to go back and watch. But um he has this special ring that he got from her for her that has this significant value, and he says, I called you here to do this right. Okay, so then it takes a turn to me when when Olivia was like, no, I this is still not what I want. Then Fitz gives her this speech and says, do you know what I could be doing other than doing this? And no man wants to do this. No man wants to go through all of this trouble, but I'm here and I'm doing this when I should be in the situation room. And he goes on this huge doggone rant. And I'm sitting here like, dude, ew. First of all, when you are proposing to a woman, you don't run down everything that you had to not do or that you decided not to do what you was doing to get her to marry you. Bad move. He's basically shoving in his face, in Olivia's face, his supposedly sacrifice. Now let's jump to David Rosen. I'm about to tie all of this in. David Rosen was speaking with Susan, who is the vice president, who was trying to pretty much figure out if there were any consequences for her if she decided to resign from being the vice president. And so David was checking in on this information for her, but then he wanted to know why she did not want to be vice president. And pretty much he got to the bottom line that she didn't want to be vice president because she felt like if Fitz was impeached, that she would have to become president, and she didn't feel like she would be a good one. So, in a nutshell, David Rosen summed it up and said, I think he said, I don't know if you'll be a good president or not. He said, but I feel like you would be better than the one that's in the White House right now. And he said, and not only that, he said most of the ones who run around automatically thinking that they're going to be a great president, they are pretty much stuck up, have their heads in the cloud, is what David Rosen was saying. But he used some fancy words, and one of them I still need to go back and watch and look up. I'm just saying, I look up words when I've never heard them before, so I'm gonna go look it up. So anyway, David, then they, as him and Susan are talking, um, it comes up of when a person is cheating, then it's you, the person that you're cheating with, and then their spouses who are in bed with you. And then David referenced to it as a four-way. I rolled. I thought that was so funny. So anyway, um so then Rosen breaks down and says, but when you're the president, the whole country pretty much is what he's saying is in the bed with you. Everybody has a say so because what you do affects them. Okay, so David was spot on with what he said. Him and Susan. I thought that was a really good conversation, and not to mention, I really, really, really thought that was a good part of the show. Like, I feel like some people in the show have their realistic, that rational cap on. They're able to reason and really think about the things that they're going through. And I'm like, this is good to see, because for a minute Scandal was missing that, and it's just been all over the place and a bunch of people doing stupid stuff, and it just didn't make any sense. So going back to Fitz. So now you are pretty much saying how you should be in the situation room, which the situation rooms means that there's a situation with the country, with another country possibly, or some form of terrorism, and you are deciding to woo Olivia for a moment to see if you could get her to marry you. I don't like Fitz for that, because I feel like Fitz, if you either I'm getting to the point where I really want to know where Shonda's going with this, like ASAP, because my thing is, either you gonna be with this woman or you gonna be president. At this point, and I'm in the TV world, you guys. I'm not in this, and I'm not in reality. Okay, so kind of take me as a Sally Langston for a moment. I'm in TV world, okay? If I was in TV world of Scandal and the president's mind was always on the woman he's screwing, because that's pretty much all that's happening, because Fitz and Olivia really has no real relationship, and I'm gonna go there about that in just 1 second. So you're always focused on dropping your draws when you see Olivia, and the country is suffering. What's happening with the country in Scandalland? What's happening with different situations that Fitz is not giving any of his attention to, because he's too worried about either marrying Olivia, not marrying Olivia, or screwing Olivia. I don't understand that. So I'm like, that's not anything that I would be bragging about. He should have, if he really loved Olivia, and if he really was into what he was doing. Men do like doing that. Men do like, wooing and showing their wives some type of affection and compassion, or the women that they're with, because not everybody's married. I get that. So I'm just saying that I felt like that was just stupid on his part. He basically, at the drop of a dime, threw everything in her face that he had to sacrifice, which really he shouldn't have been sacrificing in the first place. But he threw that in her face. And let me tell you, ladies, let's be in Shondaland for a moment. Any man who did that for real in Shondaland, if we were in Shondaland and that happened to us, that's a bad sign. It's too early for you to be telling me everything you sacrificed to be with me, and we hadn't even walked down the aisles yet. Just saying. Okay, moving on. Olivia. Oh, Lord. I've been avoiding talking about Olivia first because I just don't even know where to start. I really don't. Okay, so Olivia gets the proposal. She don't want to marry Fitz. Not like that. Okay, so let me break it down how I really thought about this. And me and my mom watches Scandal, and her and we were discussing this morning, actually, before I jumped in here to do this review. And my thoughts are this: Olivia gets on my nerves because she acts like she has any other choice to do this in a nice, decent way. Let's be for real about this, you guys. She's sleeping with the president of Scandalland. Okay? You're sleeping with the president. When you sleep with the president, who is a married president, there are consequences. What I see here is we got a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of things, but don't want none of the consequences of what they doing. So how you gonna look at this man? Even though I don't like Fitz, I'm on Olivia's side because both of them doofuses. How you gonna look at this man and say, I don't want to marry you, I don't want it to be like this, but you was cool with screwing him the whole time while he's president? You were cool with him leaving the White House to come sneak and be with you in your apartment, and you was cool with sneaking in the White House to be with him in the White House, because in season 1 through 4, y'all was doing it anywhere you could do it. Okay, even in the White House, you was getting it on. So, and in these underground tunnels and stuff that's supposed to be used for disasters. I'm just saying. So you you doing all of this, and then when it come down to the fact that you just publicly told everybody you was his mistress, now you trying to figure out how to avoid the consequences, and you don't want to marry him under the circumstances. The circumstances was already screwed. It was already screwed up because you already messing with a man who's in power over a whole scandal country. Okay, and you cool with that, but the moment the man asks you to marry him to correct something, or to prevent it from going too far, or to prevent, the powers that be from getting more information out of you, marriage is the worst thing that you could think of? Heck no. Whew. I wanted to say hell to the no. I try to keep, yeah. Anyway, makes you want to cuss, I tell you. Okay, so so you think that's the worst idea, and then you go and actually present the worst idea. And then the worst idea actually happens. So this chick, instead of marrying Fitz, the man you love, which is the absolute worst idea to her because she don't want to do it in this way. What? Who thinks like that? That's dumb. Okay. So anyway, you decide to go to Mellie. Olivia goes to Mellie, the woman whom you are taking a husband from, or whatever, however that works out. I don't deal with the cheater world. But you go to Mellie and you say, I have a proposition. You tell Mellie that you want to let your father out of jail, who happens to be over B613, who happened to kill all the jurors in season 4, and who also killed your son. But if you let him out of jail, we can avoid this. Now let's really go there, you guys. I want you to think about the logic here. If I was asked to be married to the man that I already swear I love, to avoid this situation, they could have shut this down easily by Olivia marrying him, because there's a little nugget of law in between there where the wife does not have to testify against the husband in this situation. You mean to tell me that Olivia's best idea, the one that she thought was good, was to let her father, who threatened her multiple times in season 4, and then completely disowned her until he went to jail, and haven't really had a relationship with her until now, as far as any communication without him being a jerk. Your best idea, other than you marrying a man you love under these crazy circumstances, was for you to to let your father out of jail. The same father who had your boyfriend slash man slash whatever y'all are son killed. Does that make any sense to anybody, or am I just tripping? That is dumb. I'm just, oh Lord, I, I don't understand that. That's just, it's so stupid to me that you can make that decision and think that's the better decision even over marrying Fitz. Now, I read all the comments on Facebook, or I read a lot of them. There's no way I could have read all of them. So I read a lot. And I saw a lot of people going, but she loves him. She just don't want to marry him that way. You mean to tell me that she rather have her father, who is a serial killer, you rather have him out of jail than marry the man you love and put up with the consequences of that? You rather have your father out of jail, who obviously has some very powerful connections, who he had Jake's wife killed in this episode. So you mean to tell me he is the better alternative to have a terrorist on the loose than you to go ahead and bite the shame of what you've done, suffer them consequences, and go ahead and get what you always been getting anyway? Boo boo. That's just some boo boo. Okay, I'm just okay. So now Mellie has gotten um everybody calls him Papa Pope. I'm trying to say his real name, but Mellie's gotten Papa Pope out of jail. Okay, so then in the end scene, we see Mellie telling Olivia that Olivia owes her and that Olivia's gonna help her be president. Okay, now not only has Olivia talked Mellie into doing this because she thought that was the better option of her marrying Fitz, and anybody who calls that love, okay, whatever. Now she didn't even tell Fitz the plan. So now Rowan, that's his name, I knew it was gonna come to me. Rowan is now out of jail, and Fitz don't know. Okay, now everybody who watches Scandal and you're listening to this review, let's enter Scandal world for a minute. Let's talk about relationships in Scandal world. No good relationship is built on the spouses making decisions without the other one. This happens way too much with Olivia and Fitz. We saw that Oh, I didn't see it because I didn't watch it, but I read all the comments about how Fitz had Mellie in the White House basically trying to woo her so that they could put a cap on the situation before he knew that Olivia was going to actually go before the news media and all of that and tell the truth. So before he knew she was going to tell the truth, he was wooing Mellie back into the White House to smooth things over. Like, these people are unreal. This whole situation is not even realistic because everybody's using the same people that you can't stand, that you know is dirty, and who have done some, and some of them, like Rowan, have done crimes that are just unthinkable. Then to your own family and your own child, and these people use them same circles. Now, if this was real, at the drop of a dime, if I was a Olivia Pope, which I am not by far, if it was me, I'll drop everything, pack my suitcases, and go back to an island where none of them exist. She don't need any of them. I would start a new life. That is stupid to use the same people over and over and over again and put them back in the same situation over and over again. Which goes back to my, or goes to another point. um I do think and I feel just like all the other fans is, hello, we've seen this before. This is the same play with the same people over and over again. Now Rowan's back in the play. Now what? What's going to happen? There's going to be some type of new crisis that he's gonna cause, and then it's gonna be another cat and mouse of them trying to catch Rowan and put him back where he belongs, which we see in the preview for episode 6. We see that Jake is like the goal is to find him and kill him. So I guess Jake not gonna lock him up again. Jake just gonna put a bullet in him or do whatever he does to kill him. Jake is the man. I like Jake. Jake has, to me, even though Jake has done some stuff, everybody in this show in Scandal World has done some stuff, okay? But Jake has been upfront about it. Jake, at this point, the only thing that he's hidden, which I don't even know why they wrote this in, and he had a wife that he thought was dead. I didn't even watch the episode. Even though I'm a Jake fan, I couldn't even bring myself to do it. I was like, say what? That's insane. But Jake is not playing with Liv. And when she called him and she was trying to talk to him about her marrying Fitz, or her and Fitz relationship, he was like, "Hey, this is not for me to do anymore. You have him to do this for you," which is so true. And Jake keeps it real, which is why I can respect him in a sense of how he deals. He does what he has to do, and he moves on. So, and he's not gonna allow Olivia to string him like she is. He's just not gonna let it. Now, I think that Jake really does love Liv in a sense, because I'm gonna tell y'all the difference between Jake and Fitz, which I've already broke this down in in other reviews. But what really trips me out about Jake is Jake, he tries to bring out the best in Liv. He tries to get her to make her own decisions, and you can see that. I think that as a friend, because he does want to keep a relationship with Liv in a sense, but now he's having to put boundaries on it because of the position she's putting herself in. But just like I read that Jake told her to, go ahead and admit the truth. I think that was at that point where Jake had really pushed his feelings to the side and was trying to figure out what was going to be the best for her. And then what ends up happening in this case, and I don't know, if you've ever had feelings for someone, you could be good for a moment. It could be a good little while before you really think about them in the light of which you ever had a relationship with them. If it went further than friendship, you can kind of get over it for a minute, but then for some reason, every now and then, those feelings creep back. Those I guess you could say flashbacks of the past starts coming back, and now you have that to deal with. And I think that's what's happening with Jake. I think that he tries his hardest to suppress those thoughts about Olivia, because I mean, him and Olivia, they got down for a minute, and he really has grown fond of her, and I think he respects her too as a woman, and her business and the things that she's able to accomplish. I think that Jake likes that, but he tries his best to be a friend. But Liv is crossing the line by continuously calling him and talking to him about that. You just don't do that to a person that you've been romantically involved with, who has had to let you go because you are with someone else, or because, as fans say it, her heart belongs to Fitz, or as the fans say it, her and Fitz are so in love. So yeah, I feel like Jake tries, but then sometimes he it's just harder for him for some reason, and I think it's more so to see all the things that are happening, all the things that Olivia's going to have to go through to actually to be with Fitz. So yeah, that's just a hot mess. And so Jake's wife was killed in this episode, and I'm pretty sure that, and that's season 5, episode 6, Get Out of Jail Free. The wife was killed, and I'm pretty sure Rowan had something to do with that, because she did try to have him killed in jail by hiring a security guard to do it, or a prison cop or whatever, to kill Rowan, which that scene sucked. But anyway, it did to me, just in my opinion. Um, so she's dead now, and Jake was planning on leaving with her, which I thought would have been a great idea, because he needs to drop everything and leave everybody he knows too. But now, what we're going to be dealing with in the next episode and throughout the season is now Papa Pope is out of jail, and they're going to be hunting him down yet again. Been there, done that. Don't understand why that should have ever even became an option for Olivia to even do. She should have just married Fitz over that, you know. And this proves to the Scandal fans of Olitz, okay, that Olivia and Fitz are willing to do whatever it takes as long as their own lives are not in jeopardy. She just jeopardized the life of the whole Scandal country because she wanted to prevent her from having to do anything, or testify or give out any information based on something that her and Fitz decided to do, and that was to be with each other. That was to engage in a relationship with each other. And so, if you want to prevent secrets from popping out, what would have been the harm on the nation for her to actually marry Fitz? This is just two people getting married, but now you letting terrorists out of jail who have dirt on everybody, all the powers that be, which is the only reason why they dropped the charges and decided to stop investigating. And that's insane. That doesn't even make, if that happened for real. If Let's bring it to our world now, because I've been trying not to. But if that happened for real, we would be, oh. It just wouldn't be cute. And it probably do. I don't know, but I'm just saying that is stupid. So that's my thoughts. I think I covered everything that I pretty much wanted to say. This is insane. It just makes no sense. I don't know where Sean is taking it, but I know it's gonna be off the chain, because I've been watching How to Get Away with Murder, and every week, I mean, honestly, the whole show is good, but them last 3 minutes, and counting down to the end credits is insane every week. So I know they got something up their sleeves on Scandal. At first, I thought that the writers and Shonda might have been sleeping on Scandal a little bit and writing, writing in they sleep with their eyes closed. But I think they got something juicy, hanging in the balance of Scandal. I could just see it from the way it's twisting and turning now. It's gonna go somewhere. Where, I don't know. I'm still gonna stick to my guns and say Olivia and Fitz will not end up together. If they did, they would be two miserable individuals, because they both thrive off of extreme. They're extreme, and if they weren't extreme, they wouldn't be making such extreme decisions every time they get in bad positions. They like the drama. They like the dirt, because if you don't, you would take the quieter approach. There would have been no harm for Olivia to marry Fitz, even if it was under the circumstances. If that really is the man you love, marry him, get it over with, get the country, try to woo the country back on your side and everything else. But instead, you go the most extreme route. They're extremists. Their relationship is extreme. They like the sneaking around. They liked all of that. So I think that's what we're dealing with. So we'll see how it goes. That's my thoughts. If you have any comments on Scandal, I would love to hear it. So go ahead and drop me a comment in the comment section. And if you have enjoyed my little review, please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. And once again, this is Monica, and you can check me out at any time at tvandpopcorn.com. I will talk to you all very soon. Talk to you later. Enjoy whatever time of day it is that you are listening to this review. Bye bye.